history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today. You know, everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's a history here. I know.
Are you talking up by Sunset Mart? Up the hill by the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you... All right, who's responsible here?
What's that?
Who's responsible here? Whose house is this?
Yeah, haven't been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay, drive careful, okay?
Will do, thank you.
This is with the other group that ran away.
Oh, really? You just ditched it? Awesome.
Yeah, those ones kept walking in the car and the other one.
It's truly for the win.
That I was given to. So there was 2 different discs. Okay? They all knew about it.
We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
I see noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Like brains, and like if you need a lot of brains, you're gonna be in trouble.
Again, what's up, guys? Happy Friday. Lana is responsible for me not getting anything done until after this live, and then it may be truly for the win for me. Like it. Like it, like it. Again, hi, guys. Welcome to the transparency. You know, I was debating on whether or not to talk about this, but I'm not sure if you guys are aware. The online portal seems to have taken anything relevant down from the end of March, beginning of March 24th of 2023, until April 24th, 2023. It's just like taking all of the documents, you know. One of those being, you can't find this motherfucker. If you didn't print it, you didn't download it, you are out of shitting luck. You can't find Richard Bitonti, his affidavit in support, you know, to get Bethany from Reno over here in Idaho, and to be present at the preliminary hearing. So also what was taken down was all of Bethany's lawyer's writings. So unless you know, downloaded your stuff, printed your stuff, you know, kept your stuff in some type of order, which we over here at Truth and Transparency do a pretty good job of, you're not going to have this stuff. Same thing with videos. If you didn't download videos back when, or you just didn't request them and you don't have the originals, you're shit out of luck. You know, you're stuck with possibility, things being redacted that weren't redacted before, blurred out. You know, there's people can't do anything about anything that I have in the current state that I had it in back in the beginning. So, and one of those documents, so when you guys saw the title, you're like, who the hell is Richard? Okay. big old Dick here. I wonder if he goes by Dick. So I wanted to talk about something because it came up a little bit this week when I did a video about Bethany being the person that the defense sought out to, hey, we need her to be there at the preliminary hearing because she has exculpatory evidence. And I wanted to look at his affidavit again with you guys. So again, you can't just go out there and get this. So take your screenshots, get your fill. Let's see, make this as clear as possible. All right. I'm a criminal investigator hired by the defense. Brian is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. Number 4. Again, this is his affidavit in support. The deaths took place in a 3-story home. So the big thing that I saw with this affidavit was he was really describing the house. So it's a 3-story home. There are 2 bedrooms on each floor, bathrooms on each floor, and a kitchen, dining, and living room on the middle floor. Then we get to number 5. Mr. Kohlberger is alleged. Okay, this is very, like I should say, not wordy, simple, just really simple how it's stated. Mr. Kohlberger is alleged to have entered the house. It doesn't say where did he enter. It doesn't say that he go in through the slider. Did he go through the front door? But Mr. Kohlberger is alleged to have entered the house, period, just entered it around 4 a.m. while 6 people were sleeping / present. Okay. Again, this is all alleged. And again, why are you putting this in this part of the affidavit? Okay. So killing 4 people in 2 separate bedrooms. Or I'm sorry, in 2 separate rooms, it says. It's not say bedrooms, rooms. Then Maple Beef supports Lana. Hey. Hey. Good to see your face in here, eh? Like it. Congrats. Congrats, and you know why. When I saw that little Maple Beef pop up, I had a hey right there at the end. Hey, totally ruining my flow here. No, my guess is no, but I'll ask for you. So, okay, so number 6. The people killed were located in 2 bedrooms, one on the 2nd floor and the other on the 3rd floor. Number 7, Bethany Funk's bedroom was on the 1st floor. Okay. Doesn't say where she slept. Okay. Just, hey, Bethany's bedroom was on the 1st floor. Again, where is this information coming from? But the other surviving roommate's bedroom was on the 2nd floor. Now, I thought that was interesting to say both of these people and where their bedrooms were located. You know what I mean? Just really interesting that, but we're going to go ahead and talk about where their bedrooms were located. Is that going to be important? I think so. Number 9, Bethany Funk, and he spells it incorrectly there, which is funny when the lawyers write him back, was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things she heard and things she saw. It doesn't say when, though. It doesn't say when. Bethany, again, should be an either, was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicides. Now, during the course of my investigation, it became known to me that Bethany Funk has information, material, so relevant, to the charges against Mr. Kohlberger, spelled wrong. Portions of information Miss Funk has is exculpatory to the defendant. Ms. Funk's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by any other witness. Bethany Funk, again spelled wrong, resides in the state of Nevada. So this was this is his affidavit, and basically saying that based on his investigation during the course of this investigation, he's come across exculpatory evidence that Bethany is in possession of. Okay. And they say that this is a defense tactic. Okay. And again, we're just asking all these people to just come out here and I guess lie, but something I want to point out though, that's all it says. All right. But they had to take this off the internet. You cannot find this on the internet. Okay. This affidavit, it was written up, it was logged, it was put on the documents on the website. You guys, you cannot get this. You cannot get this on the internet. Why? Why can't you get anything to do with Bethany and everything to do with this? Why did it all have to get pulled down? Okay. So I took a little piece though from what Bethany's lawyer had to write. Yeah, there's a lot actually that's missing. Everything, like I said, that was worth a damn from March 24th until April 24th. Go check it out, guys. There's no documents. So let's see. Back out just a tad there. The affidavit in support of motion for out-of-state service further claims that Ms. Funk, who name is repeatedly so she gets pissed because this guy messes up her name, okay? Well, let's just back up one step further. Bethany, when she would receive this, because this was ordered, like the court signed off, okay? So this was ordered, Judge Megan. And Bethany then had to go secure a lawyer, or she could have just shown up, taken her subpoena and just arrived like Enan Harsh did when he thought that it was still happening, that preliminary hearing. But here she goes out and gets an attorney. And I believe that she had 2 attorneys. But here, this lawyer wants everybody to know that, let's start from the beginning. This affidavit in support of motion for out-of-state service further claims that Ms. Funk, who name is repeatedly misspelled. I guess whose name, but who name? What's that? Who name is repeatedly misspelled, has quote unquote information material to the charges against Mr. Kohlberger, and again, misspelled. Portions of information Ms. Funk has is exculpatory to the defendant. These statements are like, it's just conclusory. It's what's up. Like, there's no like, are you going to give us any you're saying that she has exculpatory evidence, but we don't get to even hear anything about this. You just are deeming something exculpatory. But again, remember that this was for Bethany to testify at the preliminary hearing. They were subpoenaing her to come testify at the preliminary hearing. Okay. And then this is when everything went fucking haywire. Okay. With this case, it was all because of this document that started the downward spiral of the prosecution, where they went out and obtained, we could say as an A team to backseat Bill, B team. They brought in some, prosecutors, but it was all about this. Then on the same date, we start talking about the Brady Giglio, and then the defense then the prosecution's releasing, yeah, there's Brady Giglio, possible material, blah, blah, blah. But this is what kind of gets it all going is Miss Funk, all right? And flat out, we want this quashed, like she's not coming. And then so you have, Ann's team, and then Bethany goes ahead and gets lawyers. They're all trying to communicate. They want this to be, quashed, the subpoena quashed. Like, they agreed to have Ann's team come and interview Bethany. I mean, there was a ton of things on the table, like she can't get arrested if she's there, and I'm thinking to myself when I was first reading this, like, arrested? Why does she think she's going to get arrested? Like, You know what I mean? Like, why? So I want deals as saying that I can't get arrested if I come there. But for all of us that have been following this case, why was this pulled from the internet? Why can't this be up there? This is part of like the documents, like, you know, and over what? Like, look at, there's like fucking nothing in here. This is like, there's nothing here. Or, but maybe if you have Lana brains, you could kind of sense something. So I think the biggest part about what I see in his affidavit has to do with the layout of the house. The layout of the house and what was alleged to have taken place. In these rooms, in this house, with 6 people present, either sleeping or awake, basically. And mentioning where Bethany's bedroom is and mentioning where Dylan's bedroom is. But I think what could come after that is just because those are where people's bedrooms are, that does not mean that that's where they were sleeping or where they were present or anything like that. And that's what led me to do my live, I think at the beginning of this week, when I talked about, you know, this exculpatory evidence that Bethany would have to put her in a position that, in my opinion, would outweigh whatever the state's going with, which would be Dylan's narrative. Otherwise, and it would have to put Bethany in a position to make her, what she was saying, have possibly, you know, more weight when it would actually be heard, you know, by someone like me or someone like you that would be on the jury. But also, what could be exculpatory? And then I just started comparing it to Dr. Drake's case, Dr. Moore's case. And what would be exculpatory to Dr. Moore? It'd be the time of the death, would be 100% exculpatory. That was the big thing with Dr. Moore, is they centered going for this man because of a time, okay? Because of cameras that they allege was his truck, that is just not, but it's because he was there in the area around that time. But if that time of the crime is actually not that time, it's exculpatory, because then Dr. Moore wasn't even there at the time. Then, okay, if this murder happened at this time, you know, so I think the time of the crime would be something that would be very, very exculpatory, and also possibly who was actually there at the time of the crime. But what could you possess that's exculpatory, and people can say, oh, Bethany didn't see a bushy man's eyebrows. I don't think it's going to be that, guys. I think it's the times. I think it's they talk about the layout of this house so much in this. That's the main thing that I see in here, is we're talking about the house layout and what they're alleging. But he never says what they allege. So the state never say what door Brian Koberger went in. So anyways, what's crazy to me, though, is that this document is no longer on the internet. Good luck, right? And good luck with any of it. Anything that has to do with this incident, good luck. And so that brings me to my next part, which was the dates of everything. I went back and looked at some discovery stuff. Because it's this big thing is when was IGG known? When was the name Brian Koberger known? Did the car come first? Did this tip from the FBI came first? Like, what are the dates, right? Well, I wanted to pull up and show you guys this. Hi, Mary. Mary, you go tell my family I said hi. Let's take a look. So remember, I put all these in order. Well, I want to go ahead and look at this date. It's in June. Okay. And this is when they wanted a bunch of information on the FBI cast. And this is where the state responded. Or I'm sorry, this was the request. And then Brian Kohlberger's team, this was what they said. And then actually, zoop. July 11th, fireworks go off. Let me back up one step though, too, to show you one other thing. Right here. This request for all the DNA, May 3rd. And then guess what they did? Oh, we're bringing in the grand jury on the 12th, the 13th, and it was the weekend for 2 days, and then the Monday. And then they indicted him on the 16th on that Monday. All right. So here, this filing, though, was for the defendant's third supplemental request for discovery. It had everything to do with, again, it was all about the DNA. Okay. So much so that they waited to the last page to talk about the genetic genealogy testing. Okay. And again, that was filed on May 3rd. Okay. Which is literally 7, 8, 9 days before here's your grand jury dates. Okay. Okay, great. Literally the next day though, they wanted a motion to compel again. Not only were they requesting the DNA, they now are putting it in the next day to say, hey, on our last two discovery supplemental requests, like we still don't have that shit. Come on. So they put out this, hey, this is what we're looking for. All right. And then the state answers on the 12th, the same day that they that they kick off the grand jury. Okay, the same day that they kick off this grand jury, they're responding. All right. And just to remind everybody, they said that there are no body cams from anything to do with Pennsylvania. Okay. Hey guys, we gave you 51 terabits. You can go ahead and check out the car. The defendant's vehicle have been disclosed to the defendant. So the reason there were so many questions surrounding this is like, okay, well, where's this evidence of all this fucking DNA? Where's this blood? And then when they're talking about what holds, I think, exculpatory evidence is that there's nothing in there. In the car, you should expect to see a bunch of shit, right? So is that considered exculpatory? Again, this is what was happening in May. Again, so then we're going to fast forward to, this is where they have to talk about basically a month later, June 16th, they then do a big old motion for the protective order, which is, we're not going to tell you shit about the IGG. Okay. Well, then I came across right here. On the 16th of June, so before any of that happened, on the 16th of June, this was the fourth supplemental request. And again, they didn't say what they were looking for. They just gave that, hey, it's exhibit, whatever it was, A, B, C, D, E, or something like that. But on the 11th of July, we get this nice little update. Let me back out. And this is something that amazed me, because I don't think I've ever went over this part. So in that request number 1 that they wanted way back in the day, all cell phone reports analysis, including but not limited to any analysis conducted by police agencies, FBI, CAST. So something that Daniel was talking about last night with our debate was, or it was the night before, it was about, hey, don't you think it's really crazy? Like that it's so suspicious that he shuts off his phone, he turns on his phone, then he's driving around there, they can triangulate him and blah, blah, blah. Well, it is if that's true, I guess. You know what I mean? Let's see the evidence. Well, here, they couldn't even get the shit. Okay. The answer to this back in the day was the state has responded by listing page numbers and audio video file names. All right. But Ann Taylor said as of June 13th, 2023, counsel for Mr. Koberger has not received any investigative report. That means the printout, like you're going to sit at your computer and you're typing up your report. Okay. And the state, so this was like how it went. This was the request. Then this was the response by Ann Taylor's team to say, hey, we requested this shit. Here's where we're at with it. And now we need you to order the state to do and to give us this stuff. Okay. And so then this was the state's response. The state has complied with this request and has provided the following. Now, remember what day this is. This is July 11th. So it was actually on. So look at this. They gave them 2 pages on 6/5/2023. 2 pages of reports. 6/5. Supplemental report 196 was 2 pages. That's all they had. Everything to do with this request, which is the FBI CAST, which is all of your stuff to do with your triangulation and your where this phone was and where it was traveling. This is how you got your This is how you got your search warrants for Brian Koberger. What were you providing in the search warrants? You're swearing to X, Y, and Z. Okay. So you basically had no information because all that was turned over was 2 pages here, page 19, 20, 2 pages here until on 7/11. On 7/11, okay, look at these page numbers, 412 to 535, 100 plus pages. Then you give it to them on the day that this was. And then this page, or not, 3 pages here. Okay. So was this all done after the fact? Were you really doing this work, these reports that are all these pages? I mean, this is stuff that you would have beforehand because somebody hands you a report and says, yeah, I analyzed this, I did this, here you go. Okay. So when I've been saying that they worked backwards this whole entire case, that's exactly what they did. But that doesn't mean that Brian Koberger is guilty. That means in order to make it fit with this guy and you think X, Y, and Z happened, I've said it since day one, this would be hardcore policing, hardcore investigating, doing like boots on the ground, stuff that takes a lot of time, like your investigative stuff, going through a shit ton of videos, okay, putting everything together, a shit ton of time. Again, the defense got this stuff. The preliminary hearing was supposed to start June 23rd. June 23rd. Just if there was going to be a preliminary hearing. Okay? Now, request 4. All footage provided to forensic examiners with FBI used to identify the make and model of that vehicle. Well, guess what? So this is what their answer is. The reason that they needed the courts to make them compel and to order them to, do what we're asking The state has responded by listing various page numbers and file names of recordings they have previously provided. However, they do not provide any reports. Okay. The communications, any documents relating to the change of the year, all of this stuff. All right. So then here, the state has complied. Here you go. Look at this. 5 pages of reports was given on the state. 18 to 19 pages. And 7 to 9. And this has everything to do with, this is related to A. So A, all reports generated related to the identification of the white Elantra is 5 pages. Okay, how you identified that. All reports, communications, and documentation related to the change in the year of the white Elantra. 18 and 19 pages. $11,651. 11,000 comes before 14,000. So wait a second. Let's make sure. Let's take a look. $14,263, 14,271. 14,2. So that'd be 200 pages before those. See that? So this is being done and worked on right around the same time. And then these 8 to 9 pages, though, this has to just do with the person that did it. Okay, who was your friend? Like, we just want all of their certifications. That's what that is. So like that has nothing to do with the investigation. Okay. This is where your investigation is. So 18 and 19 pages worth of reports and communications and documentation related to the change in the year. Okay. Again, the preliminary hearing was 6/23. The state, again, we don't know the request here, but this is what they said that, hey, we don't have this. All right. And the state says the state has complied. Okay. And we gave you a fucking hard drive to whatever this has to do with. Request 23. Again, we don't know what it is. The state responded that they have provided a recording that's labeled AV 123, discovered on 3/30. However, the provided recording is an in-person interview with FBI agents rather than the phone interview done by Moscow Police Department. The state has been informed this phone interview was completed by S.A. Shirley, who confirmed this reference phone interview was not recorded. Now, they want to get around not giving out any information to do with request number 109. Identity of the FBI special agent that is a member of the CAS survey team that was consulted with to determine locations of the cell phone from 11/12 to 11/13. Okay. The state objected to this request for the reasons that it is outside the scope. Well, investigative reports and conclusions from all cell phone analysis. FBI CAST. You see that? FBI CAST. We're asking for it here. Request 1. But then here, we want to talk about the state objected to that. Then they came back, Mr. Kohlberger's team came back and said, Mr. Kohlberger disagrees as this information was largely relied upon Okay. In various warrants. Like, how? We want to know who the hell you talked to, because this is what you gave. So now you don't want to give the IGG, okay, and any of that information. Now you don't want to give any of the cast information on who the agent was that Payne, talked to. Okay. Um, so yeah, when Daniel was going to argue and say, "What do you think about the cast information?" I think it's fucking crazy. I think that they want to hide their whole case, and it's right here. I mean, if you had this stuff, you arrested the guy on 12/29. This was dated. I mean, you can't make this up. Look at the date. It's July 11th. Okay. 420, 430. They don't have this. And they're supposed to defend somebody. And a trial was supposed to start in October. Okay. Like, I think that that's a problem. So he totally disagrees. Information relied upon to secure search warrants and arrest warrants is necessary to conduct analysis of Fourth Amendment issues. But then I found it. Further, the entirety of the information could include materials required under Brady. The state then now says, they came back and they said, the state has complied with this request and has provided the following: 14,409, 14 to 14,411. 3 pages. 3 pages. 14,409 to 14,411. 14,409. 14,409 to 14,411. It's the same thing. See that? Request 120 and 140. All tips received by law enforcement relating to this case. The state has provided various tips through discovery. However, they are scattered in pieces throughout the discovery. A complete and chronological list of all tips has not been provided. Well, the state has complied by providing all tips in its possession to the defense. The state will continue. The tips have been provided in the same manner as provided to the state, which is basically all over the fucking place, okay? And so when you're talking about tens of thousands, maybe more, maybe a shit ton more, again, you're looking through this to see, where is this so-called tip that the FBI turned in of Brian Koberger, or whoever turned in this name, okay? And what other tips are out there that, like, we're going to go through whatever. But the tips have been provided in the same manner. A complete and chronological list of all tips does not exist. And I think I already talked about that and just said, well, why can't you just go based off of the emails? Like, they were submitting stuff into some website. Come on. I know what my website can do. Like, that's crazy. Now, this request for 136, all audio recordings related to all search warrants obtained in this matter. The defense has been provided with a photograph. And that's basically what it was referring to. And then the state says the state has complied, and that they basically gave whatever this was that they're saying on February 7th. And now, last but not least, request 164. Body cam, recordings, notes, photographs. And so Daniel says, Lana, why would any of this matter? Well, this is not what these people go and do. You have Gary Tolson, come on down. Okay, Vargas, Gunderson. The state has been advised these items do not exist. So these 3 people, Tolson, Vargas, and Gunderson, attended the autopsy. And what did they do? The state responded that they do not have these items in its possession. Clarification is needed on it. They exist and are still in the possession of another agency. No, we're just going to go ahead and tell you right now. We were just told that they just don't exist. Okay, now my question is do they not exist because we had to get rid of them after the fact? Or did they truly just go in there and not wear body cams, not take notes, no photographs? And now you don't think that it's relative and material to look at what these officers do in other cases? I've just never seen something so fucked in my life. Then Ann Taylor hit them with on July 12th. So like they waited till they got this, right? Then on the 11th and on the 12th, supplemental 5, supplemental 6 on the 12th, supplemental, there was a 7. Oh, it comes up afterwards. Hold on. And then, so then we get into this. July 24th. They're like, we want to know where Brian Kohlberger was, right? We want to know where Bethany Funk is. Like, just think about how this is all playing out in, you know, in an order where Ann Taylor and her team are trying to get all this information. All right. And so, well, Bethany has exculpatory evidence. This gets totally taken off the internet. Totally, you know, whoa, let's nothing to see here. And now, July 24th, they're like, we want to know where Brian was. Tell us where Brian is. And it wasn't good enough, right? They just said what they said, which is Mr. Kohlberger's defense team continues investigating and preparing his case. Evidence corroborating Mr. Kohlberger being at a location other than the King Road address will be disclosed pursuant to, you know, the rules. It anticipates, though, right here, this evidence may be offered by way of cross-examination of witnesses produced by the state, as well as calling expert witnesses. Great. And then then I went back and pulled up Vargas's where they were losing their shit on this affidavit, or declaration rather. And this is what all I wanted is this date. The IGG process starts when law enforcement agencies reach out. Give me the date. That's all I've been ever asking for is a damn date. Chain of custody. And then they really lost their shit. And it does, I mean, this is like laid out, and just if you just go and read this, it's just like all you have to do is read this to understand why this would be fruit of the poisonous tree. Because you wouldn't have anything to compare it to. You don't have, you know, you never used Brian's DNA to compare it to that sample, nor his parents if it was obtained and used. And then this is August 25th, where they're asking for defendant's 7th supplemental. Okay. So I want to know, because God, 4, 5, 6, and 7, these requests and the date here. Okay. This was after, like they're, I think it's just going to get interesting. It's going to get interesting. And this is me saying, here's your rules in Idaho. Motion for an order compelling discovery. Can we get some Supreme Court in here? So, but this is the case. Like, this is, when you want to talk about the case and what they have against Brian Koberger, you have to go and you get the documents, okay? And then you look at the documents and you put them in order, and you're going to see what is going on. But going one more time back over to Bethany, you guys, this is what changed everything. Them going for Bethany changed everything. Which is what? Them going for their narrative. Okay. And this is what changed everything. Go look at the documents online. They wiped out April completely. Whatever was filed in April, it's not up there. God, that's really shitty of a copy right there. Let's see. There we go. But this is 5, 7, and 8. Very important. He's just talking about the layout of this house, right? And there has to be something very, very important to this layout. And important to, okay, Bethany Funk's bedroom was on the first floor. The other surviving roommate's bedroom was on the second floor. Is it basically saying that just because of where their bedrooms were, does it mean that that's where they were? Or does it have something to do with their ability to see something? Or inability? And then this 10, Bethany was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicide. So that would mean that Bethany would know exactly what those officers were doing, right? So when people want to talk about, I saw the dog was on a body cam, or Bethany's over there saying, well, the dog was over here. We just moved, the dog, or whatever it may be saying. But it's very interesting how this is just worded the way it is, and then it causes a complete fucking spiral. Like, everybody loses their shit. This is what makes everybody lose their shit. So, to the point of, you guys can't even find these. Like, this is not online. This isn't online. And Bethany and her family would have had to go out and get an attorney. I don't see attorneys just coming over her and be like, hey, do you need an attorney? Come on. And then all this lawyer is just cracking me up. He can't even spell anything right. Who name is repeatedly misspelled. Who name? Can I get a shirt that says who name? Across the back, where like your last name goes, who name? Who name? Only in Stephen Smith's case did that happen. Who name? Let me get a hoodie that says who name. Look at it. She's talking about people spelling stuff wrong, and she says who name? Who dat? Who dat? Who day? Who name is repeatedly misspelled. Further claims that Miss Funk, who name is. I'm sorry. I'm having fun with that one. Just put that on a replay. Also remember that Bethany's car wasn't there. Dylan's car wasn't there. Did they even have cars? If they had cars, where were they parked? Were they ever searched? Were all of these cars obviously searched? And then we're going to end it. What your little dose today is. You guys, I know if you guys were seeing the documents, you may have gotten a little nervous on 9/8. On 9/8, when you saw this document come out, I know you guys probably got a little nervous, all right? But I want you guys to know that this was not to get Truth and Transparency's YouTube records, okay? This was there we go. YouTube Studio. They went after a YouTube account. So on the YouTube account of blank with any of the following identifiers, okay? You see that? So I just want everybody to know that this is not Truth and Transparency, but whatever account this is that they were wanting information on, they were wanting information. I think this is just what they would ever put in as, what you would say is like your template. But here they want information on this YouTube account from June 1st, 2022 until December 29th, 2022, like the day he was arrested. And they went for your subscriber information, guys. Look out. If you were subscribed to this channel. And then all the stuff that they wanted. Again, I think this is just, this is going to be like your template, but they're still, so when they went for this, the date that they did all this was July. July 25th. They wanted this YouTube account. I don't know. They got it back on the 8th. So, but just want everybody to know that it's not Truth and Transparency. So what else? Let's see. Well, I can tell you this, that on December 27th, when Pennsylvania agents recovered the trash from the Kohlberger family residence located in Albright, Pennsylvania, that evidence was sent to the Idaho State Lab for testing. On December 28th, the Idaho State Lab reported that a DNA profile obtained from the trash and the DNA profile obtained from the sheath identified a male as not being excluded as the biological father of suspect profile. This is where they made their big mistake, putting this in here. Because the question is, this is what they used to arrest Brian Kohlberger. And to arrest Brian Kohlberger, you're stating in this probable cause that you put in to arrest the man, which was then to get his DNA, which was then used to compare it to the sheath sample, okay? You got it by doing this, you're saying. This is what you're saying is how you got it, okay? So if you obtain this and you didn't have a warrant to get the garbage, but then people are going to say, no, if you left it behind. Well, yeah, if I left a Starbucks cup behind after I went to Starbucks and I threw away my Starbucks cup that I was sitting there while I was on my computer. Yep, that's fair game. But did you come on my property? And then you just have to ask yourself, why was Dalton Daniels saying, you know what, we're not going to write this. We're not writing anything to do with this in our shit. In fact, we don't want you to use it. Who would ever say that? And so if you don't have, are you able to arrest Brian Kohlberger if you take out stuff? That's what it's going to come down to. So what would be like, but I think that it would be best talked about by somebody that would be in local law enforcement or some type of agent, not in this, to do with this case, that can be, unbiased. But I just want to hear how they transported this. And I did the math on when ISP got involved. ISP said that they were not. PSP, Pennsylvania State Police, they were not the people that got the trash. Okay, so when it's saying that there was a Pennsylvania agents recovered, FBI agents that are in Pennsylvania, and that you got it back and you sent it to the Idaho State Lab for testing. Okay, you're going to be able to, but now think about all of this. So you don't have a match yet, right? There's no match on this date, right? Now, how in the fucking world do you have all of this shit already ready to go, all typed up like this? All this investigative work. And you think that this all just happened when? Like, my point is that great, you got your match back on, like you think on December 28th. You're handing this, all of that ready to go to a judge. You think you just wrote that up? Okay, fly back, pain. You were just there to, like, you're in what? You're in Pennsylvania. Aren't you going to be there to arrest your man? Like, you're the big lead. Don't you think he was there? Oh, just sit there at your laptop and just type all this stuff up and then do what? No, because didn't Payne go to the judge? Wasn't he the one that submitted it? So was Payne just flying back and forth on this FBI plane? Or was this like written up? At the end of the day, it's all the work into it. But yet, you have all of this stuff all worked up perfectly, right? And you're telling me that the defense doesn't have any of it, though? The defense doesn't have to keep asking for it and asking for it and asking for it. And we're down here in July and August, and they still don't have the stuff that you used to put this together. So when do I believe that this was worked on? From jump. 11/24, 11/25, from jump. Well, they're putting out every single day their little daily updates. It's pretty crazy. You know what's even crazier is that they're saying they got the trash from Brian's parents' house on the 27th. And in that whole trash, like they would have had to like take it all because they don't know what belongs to who, right? None of it had Brian because he was wearing gloves everywhere, you guys. You don't even understand. Okay. And we saw him, man. We saw him. Would you see him? We saw him taking his trash and putting it in the neighbor's trash. Oh, and you didn't think to go grab that trash? I'm sorry, but like, who believes this? Like, think about somebody telling you this. Yeah, can you believe this guy? We were trying to arrest him, and he was wearing gloves everywhere. What? Did you take pictures of it? No. You didn't take any pictures of this? No. We were just trying to get his DNA. Like, we could not get it. Every time we saw him, he was like saran wrapped up, man. Oh, wow. Crazy. He didn't go buying any gifts for Christmas. He didn't like go shopping for anybody. Motherfucker just stayed in his parents' house in his basement, you know, jerking off. Okay, so great. But he wouldn't go running or anything. But yet in the middle of the night, he would leave the house. Middle of the night, he would leave the house with gloves on to go passing around his DNA in other people's trash. Yeah, but he was staying on their lawn. So we couldn't just go and just take that. Wait, what? Yeah, we could not get his DNA, man. There's just no way. Wow. What about like at his apartment? You just couldn't go over there? Does anybody think it's at all remotely possible that they actually did get Brian's apartment trash or anything from there, and that's actually how they got his dad's stuff, because his dad was in town right before he left, so his dad, you know, was touching everything and doing whatever. I mean, you do know that they were sitting outside of his apartment. ISP was, and WSU, and interesting. The reason I ask that, guys, is because with everything that they had written up, they were able to obtain a search warrant to get into Brian Kohlberger's apartment. So why not just try to go get that one first? Go into his apartment and see if you can get his DNA, right? You're searching. Are you not allowed to do that? I mean, his dad and him left, right? You think that his dad was wearing gloves when he was on WSU's campus? Don't you think he's probably like, Brian, I want to go check this out, or Brian, I want to go do this, and Brian's over there like, no, don't you come here. You're going to put on gloves. You're telling me that you'd follow somebody all the way back to Pennsylvania thinking that it's your dude because you have all this stuff? You don't think that you could obtain a search warrant to get into the university's TA office to see if you can get anything from there? They signed all of it. Like they didn't need. Remember, that's the part that they didn't put any of this fuckerage that y'all did on the 27th or 28th. So, no, they said there was nothing even in there. I want to see that. You had to interview these people that worked with Brian, right? Well, when do you think that you interviewed them? As soon as you arrested him, or like before, to say, hey, did you notice that he had like scrapes, or like how often would he be at his office? Were you in this room with him when he was there? Did he ever bring anybody by? Was he ever on the phone? Did you ever hear him talking to anybody? Like, when do you think this shit happened that you'd be interviewing anybody? I would want to talk to anybody that had to do with, but don't you think that you'd talk to them when? Oh, after we arrest him? Was he all beat up? Did he have really swollen hands? Does he always wear gloves? What if the people that shared that office with him let the officers in without, here, yeah, you can come in, take whatever you want. Is that legal? I share it with him. We share the same trash can. Have at it. I mean, I don't know. Don't touch anything, Dad. Neither do you, Mom. What? Yeah, sisters, come on. I just can't imagine that. I guess I should say this. Now I know why they had to go with this whole narrative. And the narrative was, and maybe this is why the gag order had to come out. Um, nobody saw him with fucking gloves on when they walked in that house, and that he was like, yeah, when we broke in there, kicked down the door, and he was over there, what, with gloves on, standing over the trash can, dividing up the why do you think they wanted body cam footage from the PA like arrest? Let's see how my client was. Let's see what he was doing when you guys kicked down the door. Because you guys have come out and said a whole bunch of shit about my client. And Brian's probably over here like, that's not where I was. You know, these reports coming out that, you know, Brian's over there fucking wrapped up in towels and he's over here shaving off his fucking fingerprints. But think of why that would have to get leaked out, because that would make sense then as to when they obtain the trash that, well, couldn't you get anything to match him? No, because he was wearing gloves every day. I'm sorry. What? Yeah, he was taking showers with gloves on. Really? Yes. Poor boy didn't have one ejaculation, not one wet dream while he was home. Well, he wasn't throwing away his sheets. He was washing those. Oh, okay. Just wow. That, like, and his parents are just like, Brian, get over here and help me make dinner. Why are you wearing those gloves? You know, I cannot stand the type of food you guys cook because I am straight vegan. And then it's his parents think he's just normal. Like, I cannot believe that you guys are still using these pots and pans. Everything that I've ever touched since I've lived here, even in June, needs to go. Brian's having a fucking garage sale in the middle of winter out there. Can you believe it? PSP's buying Brian's fucking old PlayStation from 1999. Brian's just messing with everybody selling. He's out there having garage sales with knives and sheaths and shit. Where was he hiding his own trash? Did they ever find it? Yeah, it's just all, but now when you actually look back and you're like, now I know why you guys put it out there that, yeah, you wouldn't believe it, but this fucking crazy fuck was, you know, he was sorting out his DNA touched items of trash, putting them in little plastic baggies, and then going out and just putting them all across, you know, his development. And we know this because we watched him do that. And you guys didn't go get the trash that he just left in the other people's trash cans? Well, God, no. Well, why? Well, because what if it didn't match? Okay. Fuck, get out of here. I'm just saying, this is crazy. Like, I'm sorry, but if y'all can get Brian Kohlberger this way, y'all should think twice before you commit a crime, because y'all are going down. Oh my God, Lana, that is so funny. Don't make me spit. Oh, girl. You better go get yourself some DNA tests if you're going to spit. Sorting lettuce in tiny little bags, right? Making tacos and just here. I mean, think about how, like, come on, you guys, I want to have a body cam on me just one day to show everybody how much you actually touch. And, like, you know, then you get your trash and it's just like, but this is the same guy. So he was able to elude all of you guys. Remember? Whenever you started to get on him, all right, that, damn, we could just never pick up his fucking DNA. Like, he never left his shit anywhere, man. So we're going to have to go through his parents. Well, you're telling me his dad, when he was in town, come pick up his son or drive back with him? Like, they never went out to eat? Brian probably kept him hostage, tied him down, said, I'm going to tell you I killed everybody and you're going to help me. I mean, come on. But now it makes sense right before the gag order came out, because everybody was gagged really quick. And now I think it makes sense to me. why everybody was gagged, because they had to get out this narrative. And if law enforcement's allowed to talk, then law enforcement's going to get out their narrative. Which is what? That this freakazoid, okay, that this vegan used a leather sheath, first of all. But yeah, he left his sheath, he left his touch DNA, but he was able to, you guys weren't able to get it at all after that point. Interesting. You're going to have to swallow the crow, says somebody here. That's great. You know what I think? I wouldn't have to swallow shit. Be transparent with your case. It's not really that difficult. Because I think that the world should know how fucking crazy people are. You're going to have to swallow the crow. Oh, that's funny to me. Because whether or not Brian Koberger is innocent or guilty, it should, all of this fuckerage around it should worry people. But sounds good. I'll crow it up. Well, I'm freeing other innocent people like Sheldon and Davon Cox and Mr. Moore. I hope crow tastes good. I never had crow. I'll be sure to wear some gloves. Everybody, yep. Brian outed. He said, I am not doing Secret Santa this year, family. I'm out. We have to exchange. And I know that you guys won't be wearing no gloves, and I'm out. I know, right? You're not hoping BK is innocent. Far from it. I'm over here looking like if BK did it, y'all are gonna screw this up so that four people don't get justice. Like, that's some fucked up shit. You know, over some tuition money. Oh, but Lana, it's way more than just some tuition money. It's a lot of tuition money. Do it the right way. What happened to that? Save Murphy. Yeah. Very convenient. Exactly. If he's guilty, that's fine. Just be honest and prosecute properly. That's all I'm saying. Because when you don't, then somebody could just walk, right? And I don't think it helps when you're doing shady shit in other cases. So then when a case comes along that what you actually did the right thing, that sucks then, right? I know. I think that he was wearing a body condom. The kid can't get laid, but he's wearing body condoms. Oh, shit. Oh, hell. Take down that shower curtain now. I agree there. Fraud and misconduct in other cases demonstrates a pattern of misconduct. 100. It's your fundamentals. When you fundamentally fuck up and you just, no one ever held you accountable to, fundamentally do something the way that you're supposed to, then you always go ahead and you do those shortcuts. And guess what? Those shortcuts in big situations fuck you. And that's probably what happened. And I think maybe you kind of see that a little bit in Steve's comments when he says that, just admit stuff, that you did or whatever. Like, do you think he's talking about law enforcement? Because I don't think a kid who's 20 and 21 years old, like them, saying whatever they said or like, there's forgiveness there. Okay. But we're talking about adults in law enforcement. So I think that he is probably being way more highly critical of that situation than he's speaking about surviving roommates. Thanks, Jen. Thanks for the hearts. Also, I think it's fair. Don't you? If you were in Brian's situation and all you're asking for is, hey, give me the discovery. Give me how you're claiming that this all happened. And how did you why are you thinking it's me? Okay. Like I can't like why is my DNA on there? Like, holy shit, what the hell is going on? Or let's say that it was multiple people and why am I the only one getting blamed? Uh that was another part of the narrative. When Brian Kohlberger was arrested, he said, who else was arrested? Where is that coming from? Oh, the police. That's who that's coming from. Oh, he had gloves on. The police. All of this stuff is coming from law enforcement that's leaking all of this stuff. And hey, get this out there. Get this out there. Well, that's all hearsay. It's all hearsay. All of it's hearsay. And all they want to do, good old Bethany, girl, we just want you to come. We saw your interviews. All the stuff that you're saying is not what's being put in this PCA, so we want to talk to you. That's what's going on here. But all of a sudden it was like, hell, Bethany had to have multiple lawyers. That has to get all pulled from the internet. And we're not going to have Bethany at a preliminary hearing. Wait, why though? Wouldn't you want justice for your roommates, your best friends? I would do whatever. Oh my God, get me the fuck on that stand so I could tell that sick fuck, somebody wrote in one of my comment sections, and I really appreciated it, but it was a lot to say, and they kind of put themselves out there on the line, talked about that they were a victim, and there was no, her as being a victim. She's like, they didn't care about me. This was about this person had rights, and they weren't out to like, okay, well, we're not going to not call you because we don't, that's not, she's like, they didn't give a fuck about my rights. They cared about that person's rights. Or no, she said, they didn't give a fuck about my feelings. They care about, that guy's rights. And, but it was a lot. She commented on one of the posts. I forget who it was, but it was really, really well said. And she's like, and she kind of put herself out there to talk about it. She's like, I was a victim and it was not of something, it was horrible. And she said, do you think that they cared about my feelings and what I'm going to have to go through? No, I had to testify. Or I was asked to do X, Y, and Z because that person has rights, and we're not going to violate his rights because of your feelings. But again, it's 2023 and we have nothing but fucking soft ass people in the world today. Because everybody thinks, oh my God, you hurt my feelings. What? I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. Why are you so sensitive? God, Lana, you didn't hurt my comment. Well, damn you, Lana. Oh, shit. She's already out. She's engaged. She needs to have a party. I'm offended. Me too. Need some Z's. Woody says just rinse off in the shower with gloves on. But you guys rock. Yep, I wanted to make sure you guys saw that. Because you can't find it anymore on the internet. Bethany's, yeah, there it is. That's the one I wanted. Say it one more time. I'm offended that you're offended. I'm offended that you are offended. Get a hoodie while it lasts, guys. Right here, guys. Damn you. The affidavit in support of motion for out-of-state service further claims that Miss Funk, who name is repeatedly... I'm getting a sweatshirt that says, who name. Lana, that was brilliant bringing on Gabrielle last night, having that DNA explained. Yeah, I just didn't. Yeah. Why should I explain DNA? Fuck DNA. DNA don't make you a dad or a mom. Keep on rocking, parents. But yeah, this is by far my favorite document, I think, to date. I'm going to call out that affidavit, that all those spelling errors. I want me to come up and say, who name is repeatedly misspelled. They did. They spelled Kohlberger wrong. Right there. Wow. But what could possibly Miss Funk have? This needs to be quashed. Right here. Who name? Give me a shirt. Who name? Move on, get over it, put your gloves on. There you go. If he's innocent, he needs to be fully cleared, unlike the chiropractor. I know, right? Well, hopefully we can help with that. We're going to help with that. The Afro David. That's great. Oh, speaking of which, I'm curious if the YouTube account that they possibly could want, not sure. I mean, I think it has something to do with Brian, but what about the guy that came out that had a big YouTube channel and he played the Scream and they said that he enhanced it and it really didn't happen? Remember the whole Scream? And then here we come to find out that Linda Lane footage truly existed and that there were these, screams, and, they were obviously not between 4 and 4:16 or something. But do you guys remember that? It was Joseph Morris, I think was his channel, Joseph Morris. And his channel totally it was, yeah, there it is, Morris. Joseph Morris. And they went all ham that he made it up, all this stuff, right? I wonder what he's up to now. He doesn't have a channel anymore. But oh god, maybe it was Enon's Chef Dizzy YouTube channel that got subpoenaed. Well, it just wasn't ours. It wasn't good old, the Morris. What was the name of was his channel just called Joseph Morris? Was that the name of his channel? Well, he messed with another case as well. Yes. When I had saw that they were looking for a YouTube account. I'm like, oh god, don't worry, it's not us. They don't need a search warrant. My shit's public. Go get it. So all those experts on Court TV from the Karen case, they said his arm injuries are not from a dog. For experts. Yeah, a bunch of morons. Expert my ass. All those experts are paid. What are you going to pay me? Sure, I'll say what you want me to say. That's kind of what, science. What could it be from? Yeah, it's from a rake. My take of the roof, it's kind of in the back patio on the balcony. It has the same thing. I think those are berries. I don't believe that that's blood. Just on the back deck. So, but I think Drip Drop is great. Do you think BF suffered teasing because of her name all through school? Bethany Funky? If it depends if it's funk or funky. I don't know. Nah. Winterberries. Well, I mean, they should have plenty of crime scene photos and house photos. They took 10,000 photos. So hopefully one of the ISP forensic team members was up there, taking pictures of the roof. Maybe they were just using their drone. I will say I think it's kind of crazy that that all that stuff, it was just like left there. You know, the couch and all that crap outside. Like that garbage just sat there, you know? I'd be like, can I take this garbage? I want to start testing it for fucking DNA. Can I get this trash? Can I get that trash? I mean, don't you think that a ton of raccoons would come over there? You know what I mean? And then the other stuff with the blood, for the amount of blood, is dogs have the best sense of smell. So unless Murphy was like, you know, somehow prohibited by means of like, you know, blocked in a room or, you know, in a cage, I would think that a dog's going to smell blood and like go sniffing out blood. No? It would go to its owner 100. I just wouldn't. I mean, I would just think the smell of blood, a dog would be able to start to smell that even if humans didn't. And I want to know who cleared the dog from possibly having anything on it, you know? How would you know that? Like, wouldn't you want to like really thoroughly check out the dog just to make sure that there would be like no blood that, you know, of anybody or fiber or something? And then, well, let's just take it on over to the shelter. What? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if that's truly what happened, I just think that that's just the, like, let's just take Bethany and Dylan down to the shelter. You know, wouldn't you go and get Bethany and Dylan checked out? You know, hey, we have you guys need to go to the hospital. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. They probably gave him a bath. All right, guys, until next time. On your way out, thumbs it up, thumbs it down. You guys have an opinion, make it known. Be kind to one another and run it back. If you just joined us late, there's some documents that you can take a look at that are no longer on the internet. So. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's November 29th. 4 people that were murdered, and you want to fuck around. You got 8 families that are being affected by this, and they just mean nobody from the university.
Shock value. And so what he did was he had taken pictures California.
Oh, you're from I would be outraged if I lived in Moscow right now. I'd be lighting some cars on fire out there. I'd be flipping some cars. I'd get the frats going wild with me. Let's get some noise complaints going.